work? Be on the multi-stream side. Let's see here. The right place. All right. I think it works. All right. So that is a beast of Nurgle, the super long tongue. I got that guy to prime. Oh my god, this juggalo. This rescue. I got this guy to prime. This guy's in rough shape. I had to do a lot of. You probably see. Yeah, I do use a lot of filler. I'll talk about this stuff in a bit. Some plastic putty. I think it's better than Sprue Goo. I'm probably going to do a little bit more repair on him. We'll see. Maybe after I prime him, I'll add a little bit more. This guy was in pieces parts. He still got a little crunk on him. I think his and his spikes are like by and large missing. I think this guy's going to get basing material on him, but I got to prime him. I've got some basing to do. About 20 Poxwalkers. I've got Plague Marines that are in good enough shape to keep moving forward on some color stuff. So this is going to be just a hodgepodge of different things. This guy's coming along. Look at that guy. Yeah, ding dong. Lots of stuff to do. So we're going to do it. What I have on this little dish is about 50-50 brush primer, water. It's probably closer to like 30-70 primer to water. And I'm going to make sure that that's decently mixed. This is going to beat the hell out of this brush, but I think it's the only thing I'm going to ever use this brush for. Well, we'll probably use it for washes every once in a while. Get paper towel out. What I do is I super thin out my wash so I can be pretty liberal with it and just let the water evaporate out. I find that is better than trying to masterwork the thing, even if it takes a couple passes. It is pretty thin, though. Good lord. Yeah, it's too thin. Too thin! There we go. A little bit more material in there. Stir, 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 stir. You poor brush. A lot of times on like, hey, what's up, Tank? On very, very new, fresh out the box plastic, this can be a little bit thin on here, and then you get to the second coat and it sticks. I still might have thinned it out too much though. I don't want to give myself a pass just yet. Yeah, that's wicked thin. Why? Maybe I just put way more water in than I thought I did. I was commenting last night that this plastic felt soft. Maybe it's a weird batch. All right, well, more glop. Be funny if I accidentally put isopropyl in this instead. Wouldn't be that funny. Kind of funny. There we go. That's a little stronger. Yeah, it's still very not sticky, but we'll go on it. Give it a wet, sloppy pass first. Let it dry a little bit. Get a little bit of stickiness to it. I use more of this plastic putty actually on this guy too. I like it a lot. It comes in a really interesting tube with a super fine tip on it. You basically just squeeze it into the holes, and then either with your finger or a Q-tip or a towel, just depending on how much space you got to work with, you just wipe away, and everything goes into that gap, fills it up nicely. I'm pretty psyched about that. Obviously, these two lads are gonna have to cure overnight, but I'm psyched that I got them at least ready to be primed. Oh my god, this stuff is so loose. At the very least, plastic no likey. I may have done this too thin. I don't know how though, unless I wasn't paying attention. Which does happen. Like, oh, what'd you do? Did you put oil in there? Maybe. I need something bigger to prime now. I'm going to take a dab directly from where I pulled that in and see if it sticks a little better. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I did thin it out too much. That's all right. Better than putting it on too thick. I'll just grab a little tiny spot there. The tentacles coming out of this lad's head. Really interesting construction. It's absolutely a layered hairstyle. A little complicated. I think it's going to be a little bit of a pain to paint. I think I'm going to be going in there with like a makeup brush. I'm doing a lot of like dry brush, squeegeeing stuff in. Pretty wild haircut, as haircuts go. But I'm psyched. I wanted to be Snurgle for quite a while. I'm a little sad that I didn't work this guy out earlier. He would have been fun in my general purpose Death Guard army, but all that goes away. He'll just have to be fun in my Legions Demonica Death Guard army. That'll have to be enough for him. Yeah, here we go. Now it's starting to actually like work. It like starts to stick a little and you just keep brushing over it, smoothing it out. You definitely don't want it to be on there like super thick. Doesn't really need to be thick at all. So by continuously massaging it, you get you like a nice thin coat. The reason I wet it down so much is to get coverage. All the weird spots, and if you leave a spot kind of thick, if it's like more than half water, as it evaporates, the grit will get in there. But some of this may just need a little bit of a second pass. That's okay. So like when the brush is a little heavy with it, do the first pass on some of these and then just keep brushing over it. Massage it in. And I mean, thankfully, this thing's going to get grabbed by the head quite a bit, or at the very least, there's going to be a lot of hand contact on these tentacles. But they're all round and tubular. There's not a crazy, most of the detail in them are like pronounced divots, and but mostly bumps coming out of it. So like priming a little heavy on here, not the worst thing. Just make sure that the paint really sticks to it so that this model stays painted a long period of time. I'll also pretty assertively varnish the top half of this thing. Because it's just begging. There's just too many tangential radial angles to grab this thing by that I think it's just the paint's gonna get worn on it. Someday, may I get to play so often that I start stripping my models of their paint with my greasy acidic hands. Alright, I'm going to grab some loose stuff again, and just look for spots that didn't hit at all. Then I'll set this guy aside, go over to this, I can't even remember what this thing's called. I keep thinking Blighthauler, and it's not. It's not a miasmic malignifier. The flying thing. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Sure, you like Death Guard a lot. Can't remember what their flyer's called. That's not my FIDIC. Anyway, the thought escapes me. Anyway, I'll move back to that guy in a second. Let these looser coats dry a little bit and then go over them again loosely. So where the loose mix is really good is like a lot of little stuff like this that is where an airbrush or spray can would be awesome. If you're not using a spray can, you just want to get in there with enough liquid to spread out enough of that primer. Zoop. Even though it looks like I'm slopping it on, so much of it is water. Not really. I do the same with my metallics when I'm using waxes. I keep them pretty thin, except when I need them to not like accidentally run. And so you can get solid coverage, but then just rely on evaporation to thin things out. How does he look? Does he look like I got him? No, he doesn't look like I got him. His webbed hand needs help. Because you don't want to lose a ton of detail. That's the big thing. Is you want to get enough primer stuck on there to get the job done without filling in small areas with so much material that everything becomes just a smooth surface. Thin is good. All right, now this guy. This guy's in rough shape. But I've been waiting to take a model and actually texture the bejesus out of it, clinical term, with basing material and make it just look absolutely like mega corroded. And I think this guy's going to be the first one. Like typhus corrosion on steroids kind of situation. Which may make some of this priming a little moot, but no matter what, a ton of detail on this thing is already lost to it being a rescue model anyway. It's a good opportunity to experiment with techniques I haven't tried. You know, just like you have brushes that have seen some proverbial shit, so then you use them for stuff like priming. Oil washes. And do the same with this model. So busted up. Like getting this thing to sit on here. I don't know if you can see. You probably can see. I'm on a much tinier screen than you are. That is like intentionally caked in there with crazy glue and baking soda, so it just like forms a cement bond. Not just a surface to surface, but like structural hold. Like this model is like the thing that should not be. Like its attachment to the base is a little assertive down here, but that's all you get. Like it's just like floating. On mine that I've already done, I had before this one, I sat him next to like an I-beam so that he could at least be like leaning up against something a little bit. So a little bit of like a crazy glue attachment there. He's precarious. I imagine this model breaks all over. It's just covered like with all these little spikes. These 3 spikes are gone. It's just covered in like prickly things begging to be broken. And every connection is super precarious. If you put these guns on, they're attached by pieces of plastic that are like the width of maybe a 0 size brush. Like that's it. That's all you get. That's the connection. Like, have a nice day. It's a cool model. It's just like bizarre how risky it is. And there's junk in there that like I didn't get it out. There's little bits in there. I was just a little too scared to get in there too aggressively. But essentially I had to put this gun back on. 2 of the fans, the faceplate was not attached. It did not want to attach. Had no interest. No interest in attaching. I'm going all thin on this primer because it's still got primer on it. It's ancient and thinned out, but it's primed already. Definitely going to be relying on some evaporation. Just put this super thinned out primer on there and time run its course. God, I hope the paint actually sticks to this thing. But it's fine. It's bonus. The lot that I got this thing in was worth so very much more than I paid for it. But a couple kind of bunk models. Rescues, not a bad thing. And it's, it's a skill that I need to get better at. I mean, optimally, your MacGyverism can take a model that's seen some pretty rough times, make it pretty again. And this thing has seen some pretty rough times. The way that it was painted, like no critique on the person's style or whatever. It's just like I'm just talking methodology. It's very thick in spots. Very, very thick in spots. And so this thing took several soaks, several toothbrush / mascara brushings to get as much of the stuff off that I could. I generally don't leave models in the isopropyl overnight. This guy spent 2 nights in there. Did spend some time in the ultrasonic machine, the simple green. He was very red before. In a bunch of spots. It's sticking enough. Does need some drying time. Gotta make sure I'm actually hitting everything. I got this gun poorly. Inside of it. Yeah, this gun took a while this evening to get on there. The other one's holding tight. For now. Fetid bloat drone. Yeah, I just thought of the name right when you posted that. I was struggling with this name last night and tonight. It's an awesome model. Like there's a lot of rescue effort on this specific one, but it's adorable. Very much kin to the Blight Hauler. It is a treat to paint it. It's just so precarious, and that's obviously the core to its aesthetic. So like it just like looks like it shouldn't be allowed to exist, being like this thin in so many spots. But that's what chaos gets for you. The impossible. Oh yeah, it's gross. Some of the basing material didn't ever even come up. It's all good. This guy's definitely getting the ground texture treatment on the actual body. Hey, Miati. It's like Death Guard meets Star Wars. It is very much like that, especially with like the super long tubes. The like interrogation nozzle on the front. Like that is a legit weapon on the front of this thing. Doesn't do great damage, but it's got a profile. All right, I got to get up here too. And then we may end up going back and doing a second pass on the beast. This primer is super thinned out. Get it all to soak in happily. Keep moving it around. And once again, I'm going to think a bit about where this thing is going to get manhandled the most. Like, try to think about it with anything medium size and above. How exactly someone can carry? Yeah, this thing's gonna. There's no hope for this. That's all right. I don't want to sound defeatist. My point is, there's no good place to hold on to this model. There's no safe place. So When there's no safe place, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You just go for it. All right. Oh, he's happy. Ugly looking right now, but happy. This might not need a ton more in certain spots. Like as the water's evaporated, we've gotten pretty good coverage for the most part. A couple little spots I want to wiggle in here and make sure that I get a little bit better, but probably doesn't show up well on camera, but you can absolutely tell, even though it's gray primer on gray plastic, like what spots have good coverage and which ones don't. Wiggle, wiggle, buddy. Don't think there's going to be much contact on the underside of this, but I want to make sure I get into all those little creepy divots. All right, now I'll grab some of this loosey-goosey, juicy stuff. Just make sure I'm getting down to the roots of this Medusan wild hairstyle. This one tentacle did not do so hot. It's got a definite, like, it's got a line there. That I'm not too bothered about, but I'm probably gonna yeah. I think I'm gonna use some putty on this thing once it's dried out. Just clean things up a bit. Just a couple gaps in there that could be handled better. You know what? I could put these lads in front of the fan. In front of the fan, he says. Highly recommend having some form of small fan. Optimally, some weird Dyson-y one that doesn't blow too crazy. I need to pull something out before I put something in. I also recommend having a pile of little metal dishes. Yeah, split them up. Split them up. It's two versions. One of them that's either flesh mower slash spewer. Those two are one version of bloat drone, and the other version is just the blah 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 blah, blah gun. Whatever it's called. Let's fix this thing over here. It's bigger. That different. Do one of. Oh, sure, why not? Who doesn't have a copy of a new codex? Cat's out of the bag. Yeah, the heavy blight launcher version is its own thing. Kind of makes me want to build a heavy blight launcher version. Um, yeah, it's fine. 2d6 plus 2. So the profile, I'm not sure it's that much different. But explosive blight, your shooting phase each time this model makes an attack. It destroys an enemy unit before removing the last model in that unit from play. Roll a d6, adding 1 to the result if it was afflicted. 5 up. Each enemy unit within 6 inches of that model is afflicted to the start of your next turn. So when it blows stuff up with the blight launcher, has a chance to spread plague. But I think the killer thing, I'm a little sad about the Hellbrute, but I'm over it. Defiler. Plague Burst Crawler. I don't know. I'm psyched about it. I think this is different than what Sporelace Shockwaves was before. I'm not 100% sure. No, it's definitely different than it was before. What's up, buddy? It has a chance to do mortals around it. So that's cool. What am I cleaning? What am I cleaning? What am I cleaning? I'm cleaning up this primer and this pore brush. That's what I'm cleaning. I never built the Fleshmower one. I tried magnetizing my first one, and I failed miserably. And I ended up removing a lot of plastic from the pore model. Felt bad about it. And I was like, all right, stop. You know, don't move forward on this. Just chill out. No biggie. So I'm going to end up with two of them that are, you know, spewers. The Fleshmower's dope, and I need to figure that out. I mean, I could, in theory, I could turn this guy into a Fleshmower. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that makes sense. I'm pretty sure I got the old parts around still. Put a little isopropyl in here. Just a wipe. Funny enough, primer sticks to the metal in these little dishes kind of annoyingly. You still get it off there, no problem. But, well, some problem. It's not as fun to get off as other things. Catching Sectrix twice daily on different streams on different channels. Blessed be. The other guy is better. The other guy's awake, has a purpose in life. He's not bad. Yeah, I try to go as WYSIWYG as I can. I try to. So I don't know. The color's probably washed out on the camera, but it's a very like light, plaguey green, and then I'm gonna go over it with some slimy grime, which will absolutely like greenify the daylights out of them. Yeah, I would guess my color's probably a little blasted out based on how many lights I have shining on me right now, so that I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, they do look great. They're close. They're basically, what did they get? They got like some grotesque green, which is like not very. They got some necrotic flesh, not very. Like these guys, I lightened up a bit, but they're green. These bad boys are greener, but I don't think I'm going to put the same slop on those guys. So, I do have these boys though. I think I still have more metallic work to do on these. I think I want to transition into some brass, but I also think I need to do some more work. I think before I break that stuff out, I'll break out my plate of Poxwalkers. Whoop. Your dinner is served. Because these guys, I gotta get a little dry brush on them. Put them on the plate as they're finished. Just get this dry brush and maybe a wash out of the way on them. They might not need a ton more than that. TBH. Not trying to go too crazy. Seeing as I gotta paint 8 million Poxwalkers. Alright, what do I want for a brush? I need another paper towel. And I am tired. I don't think I'm going all that deep tonight at all. Just try to like knock out a few tasks and then turn to vapor. I love this stuff. This is my new favorite thing to fix gaps in models with. And yeah, it sure seems like a specialty thing that you can use a bunch of different, like, hey, you can sprue goo it or whatever. It's that good. It's like the texture of it, the ability to wipe the excess away. It's like when you're caulking, you know, a tub. Like if the caulk's real good, yeah, I got Badger again. Second time in a day. It's really smooth. It gets like into that thing, but like it doesn't stick to your finger or the Q-tip or whatever you're working with. And man, does it work? Hardens reasonably fast. So this stuff that I got, like super fine tip on it. See how long that lasts for. I have some other little, I may actually use for some inks at some point. I have some super tiny bottles that are for like crafting, like for henna maybe. I don't know. They have like very, very fine tips on them. Fun stuff. So I need a dry brush, and probably not a huge one. Probably a small one. It's a little big. Do I have a fanned one? I should look at the other ones that I also just have lying around. Not out here. This one might do it. Bonus mascara edge. Then, what do I have? I know I had a box around here somewhere. Maybe I'll send another new one to its grave. Those are big dry brushes. This is going to be tight in time for these guys. We need those on big vehicles. All right. So I think I just need like a something off color, like maybe prairie ochre or barren dune. I'm not trying to lighten up these a ton. I just want to pull some texture up. Let's grab something from over here. Yeah, we'll grab barren dune. Some of that on there, and then they'll get a wash, and then they'll be table-ish ready. Maybe I'll throw some maggots down at some point. Maybe I'll gloss it up so it looks like they're walking through mud. I did a fun thing with the wash on the actual models. I don't know how evident it'll be. But it was to me while I was doing it. Basically took a tiny dish, and in one corner I put Agrax, in one corner I put Beltane Green, and in one corner I put Mortarion Grime. And I would just dip to different sections of the dish while I was completely sinking these guys. And it was interesting because it basically wet blended fast and free. Not a ton. Like this guy's green because his base color was green. But the Beltane Green didn't come out as much as it looked like it was going to while I was doing it. Like it's a little bit more on that guy's arm. It's a lot more subtle than I anticipated. All right, guys, make space. Make way, make way. Dryad bark, sweet. XV88, sweet. Yeah, it's no, absolutely, like the 100% just the pooling areas. It's just that like the times that I dipped into that green were like it was profoundly looking different wet. And I thought it was going to be more evident in the creases. And I'm glad it wasn't. Like, I'm glad it's subtle, but like they absolutely don't look like they just got dunked in tea and forgotten about, which I'm happy with. It does not look monochromatic over them. All right, let's try this guy out. A little bit of water. Just dip my finger into the cup and dip the brush onto the paper towel. It's a little, barely damp. Barely damp. Let's see how this goes. It's probably way too much. Maybe not enough. This thing has a very, very flat, painterly edge to it. The main thing is I can scoop between the legs a little bit. I'm not trying to like completely symmetrically hit this thing. I want a little bit lighter in a couple little spots, a little darker than others. Nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy. Tiny, tiny little taps on the feet where they're going to pick up where I already hit them with some basing material, so they got a little bit of context. Beltane green is scary. Like, it just looks violent in that bottle. Violent. So green. I will say this, going out on a limb, much as I got it on sale, going out on a limb and getting the Army Painter Fanatics Big Boy set basically blocked me out. There's absolutely colors in it that like you want to replace with other things, but I have not since then felt like, oh my gosh, I don't have this color. Everything else that I've gotten has been inks, metallics, oil paints. Like, I hope these paints last in the bottles, because having like a baseline array of just about a wide rainbow with all the gaps already filled in, like if I wouldn't have been able to mentally purchase this bottle by bottle is my point. Yeah, I mean it's freaking wild. Like no matter what other paints I have that color coded wall of crap sitting. Whenever you see me lean forward and reach, that's what I'm reaching for. And it doesn't do everything, but it does a lot of things. I don't necessarily need to know that like this one set is necessary to accomplish what I'm describing. But a rainbow set, I think it's just a good solid thing to have, regardless of manufacturer or size, really. I'm curious though, Badger, what kind of colors are you missing? And is this a I'm thinking about going World War II. I need some more legit I need more legit grays and browns and greens. Rogue Hobbies, signature set, and AK interactive intense sets. Ah, AK Intense Black is very good, and I like it very much. I certainly like their Vanta Black ink. Is like ooh, sublime. Fnatic Black is pretty solid. I'll probably keep these guys pretty simple. If I had to put anything on, it'll be some little post-game shrubberies, and a few maggots. But these guys, after their base washing, are pretty much going to be all set. By the way, I think I'm 9 or 10 days from starting my new experiment of no PC 365 days. What? 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 What are you talking about? Talking about being on not being on a computer for 365 days? What? That can't be true. Been a PC desktop, Linux server, Mac laptop guy for years. Oh, okay. All right. You're gonna go desks for Mac. I mean, I'm admittedly very out of loop on this, but like for years they had some exceedingly high test desktop PCs. It was just like not a lot of games for them. But like I'm pretty sure the hardware on their desktops is still just absolutely shredding. They've never been cheap. boy. Got a little grime intentionally on this guy's hickory stick. I use NVIDIA GeForce Now with Steam. Is that the like? Oh, that so that okay. You just I'm not sure I've ever messed with that. That's pretty cool though. Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty wild. I'm not really much of an occasional, in quotes, game person though. I gotta have it local and burning right in front of me. So I can feel properly old. And I think what's probably gonna happen is I'm gonna dry brush stipple these guys, wash it, and then dry brush them again. I think that's my bet. It's ludicrous. Get a little bit of texture on them. Wash it out a bit with a boring thing like Mortarian grime. Maybe I'll mix my washes again. That was just kind of fun to do in general. Do Mortarian grime and Beltane green again. Some carryover from the model to the ground for the eeriness. Feel guilty when you open Steam because you don't play Craft enough? That's all right. The demo's kind of old news, man. The early access build's where it's going to be at. Oh, that's not what you meant. I didn't see your previous. Yeah, I used to hardcore play StarCraft 2, Diablo 3, Escape from Tarkov. Oh, you're a Tarkov guy. Sweet. Things change, needs change. Yeah. You've been a busy lad. I do not. I feel no guilt whatsoever when Steam opens. In fact, I barely close it. But different strokes for different folks. Yeah, you got like 10K hours in it. That's fantastic. A little bit on the mallet. Where's my other mallet guy? Okay, I neglected you a little bit. Yeah, you need a little bit of mallet love. All right, let's get this bad boy cleaned up swiftly. Give it a dip. Let it sit. Some isopropyl on the end of it. We'll cook up some sort of wash business. Wash. I haven't used this in a while. Grab some Chthonian. Chthonian? Chthonian camo shade. back over this way. My outflow. I'm a Tarkov guy from the first beta until 2.5 years ago. That's wild. Tarkov's been in the works for like 8 million years. It's like super OG stuff. See if that thing lasts for another usage. Do you want to be funky with this? I don't think I need to be that funky with this. Whatever. I'll mix some other stuff up. I should actually work on models instead of just looking at paints online. Oh, that's right. Badger. It's not just my mother's birthday today. It's your Freedom Day. You survived the month. Congrats, you're alive. You can do whatever you want. The world is yours. Funny enough, I didn't actually use Poxwalker shade on my Poxwalkers. Silly. I'll put it on their bases. Alright, so just sort of drip some of that into a bunch of different corners of this bad boy. Go and grab a brush that can hold a decent amount of wash. Yeah, bet it does feel good. Congrats. Wet the brush first. Finish cleaning up this dry brush. Oh my gosh, it's still a mess. Should just use a towel, not a paper towel. Oh, buddy, one more soak. Too chill. So, what was the final head count on how much terrain you cranked out? Not that that's an easily measurable thing, but. That's strong. That's strong coffee. Look into my eye. All right, let's get some wash on these guys. So I'll grab from this corner and just sort of blah 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 around a little bit. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. Good job, me. And then over here, a little different. Grab from over here, fill it in. Just let them blend wet. They're getting a little bit greeny down there. Different types, flavors. Actually finished 115 pieces. GG. You're an animal. Wow, that's wild. Ready for an oil wash, 173 more. Good Jesus. I think I've had investment today for $40 for entertainment. I'll pre-order Space Wolf. The new ones, then post on Reddit Space Wolves are microwave it back to plastic. And then post Magnus. That's right. Oh my god, you should so totally do that. Good, honest fun. I ain't getting them, but like a couple of those new models are freaking crazy good. Like the thing, and I'm a very trolly person myself, but I will a very trolly person myself, but I will. If you're gonna be evil, go big. Oh, is the new one? Is that the? Is it a new Fulgrim book? It's not the like Eidolon, the one with him on the cover. Is it an actual like Fulgrim book, or is it an Emperor's Chitlin's book? I have not been reading. I've been a bad man. I used to read for like an hour, sometimes three, before going to sleep. Excuse me, at my height of Warhammer lore ingestion, I've been like just not doing it. Sleep good, sleep very good. Fulgrim the Perfect Son. I didn't even know that came out. Sweet. Oh, I will check that out. Um, I could get down with that. So is it 30K? It came yeah, it makes sense that it came out. Is it 30K, 40K, or is it forward back, forward back? Post heresy, sweet. I need to remember to take some freaking pictures of some of this crap. I bring my obliterators back inside, get some photos of them. Hellbrute's going. Very photo light lately. The weather's also really nice outside to like this time of year before mids before summer gets super crazy. Late spring, based on where the sun is in the sky. Really nice to just take pictures outdoors. Just use all natural light, maybe a little key reflector board thingy at most. By that I mean a piece of white paper somewhere might help, but often not necessary. Just like really good quality light at a good angle at a price you can't say no to. On the foot tentacle, man, this poor guy and his mega growth foot. Oh yeah, they are super mono. They're as mono as it gets. Their data sheet very simple. It's a delight to roll attacks for them. They're not good at it, but yeah, I mean, if you spend enough time here, you'll eventually find the best viewers. Someone will show up and deposit them to me. It's such a struggle to find good viewers. Such a struggle. I wish I could just like turn the camera on, paint dumb stuff, ramble, and find the best viewers that way, because that would be much easier. Best are much better than cheap. Well said. Like, you know what? With all the bots we have rolling through here, good call, Badger. Good call. This is a different proposition than we're used to. Fair observation. Get up on the heel a little bit. Get some context. You know, I might not need to dry brush these one more time. Like the mix of colors that I'm getting out of this, pretty solid. I think the incorporation of Beltan and Poxwalker is giving it like enough green to green blue. The job's getting done. The next batch of Poxwalkers I do, I'm actually going to use a lot of that green shade on the Poxwalkers themselves, lo and behold. Very avant-garde play. But I might just have to, like, I might just be looking at coloring up the rims on these and varnishing them. Should be awesome. Oh, there's there's tons of lists with no Poxwalkers. Tons of lists. You could absolutely build lists without them. At this point, the way they are priced and with Infiltrate, even if you're not me, it's a little silly to not just like drop 60 points on 10 of them infiltrated. Like that's just kind of silly. But you can absolutely build a list without it. basically they are replacing now what I bought all those Nurglings for, so that I could have somebody out in no man's land from the start, while my super slow dudes catch up. But you can handle that with deep striking, you like Terminators, demons. Um, I mean, honestly, you can go pretty slow and keep some Terminators and deep strike and have an exceedingly valid threat on the enemy side of the table. And obviously, we have different standard sectors, but like, I think this has been a grand total of like three-ish sessions, 3.5. So I was doing a little back and forth with the Plague Marines to get 20 of them, and it would not have been that much more time. I mean, obviously, it is more time, but like, if I was doing 30 of these, it wouldn't be like an additional 50% of the time, and that's with me yapping away like a moron the whole time. Like, I know you will put more this is crazy love and care into them, but they're not that bad. There is a total of 10 sculpts in the 30, so you have triplets of everything. But some things to keep in mind, like, there's not a lot of guns, so there's not a lot of like there's not a lot of armor at all, so there's like nearly no, like, there's not a ton to do trim on, and the skin isn't very smooth, so there's not even a lot of space to do like, layering stuff with it. So with that said, like, poxwalkers are pretty fast. Relatively speaking. You can absolutely make lists without them. All right, let me clean this thing out. I should probably take some of my old, heavily used isopropyl, use it, these towels a little bit. Not doing it now, but at some point. All right, Death Guard. What kind of stuff still needs color on you? I'm guessing it is bone. I think most of these guys are pretty well metalled. Mostly. I think I'm looking at a lot of bone, cloth. Make moonshine? I mean, it's 99. I mean, obviously it's been diluted through usage, but 99% isopropyl. It's practically moonshine. Get some bones and teeth cooking. Do some normal ass paint. Also known as normal ass paint. Diluted with mineral spirits to add flavor. Indeed. This card. Dish. Fish wish dish. I should actually stack these. Yeah, your bits are just like whatever, it's Uhu glue. That's all you need. Properly painted by a 4-year-old. I should wash this thing. I should put a wash on this and just be ready to use it at any time. Masterpiece. Keep these guys on here while I work. There's a random piece of stuff I don't want to lose. Where did I put this guy? Put that up there. I need a new pad for this. Yeah, the Rhino definitely needs an update. But like those bits are like super solved, which is kind of nice. And you know, the fact of the matter is, like, Games Workshop pretty much solved for him by like being like, hey, even for our different rhinos, it's like side panels and stuff like that. They're just like wholesale swaps. Just have sheets in it, or is it just that's just a pad? And the sheet set. Twigs. There's my sheets. I think. No. Yes. Oh, it's empty. It's empty. They probably all fell out into the back of this thing. Oh, box of stuff. Where art thou, sheets? There they are. Yeah, like, it's... I was very, very pleased with Sisters Rhino kit. This gives you, like, absolute ton. It's still very much a Rhino. But they give you just a ton of bling for it. Just a bunch of, like, crazy gothic Christian stuff to staple onto it. And I feel like... I'm a little surprised that Games Workshop doesn't do more of that. I mean, I'm guessing they probably did at one time, but like... Oh yeah, those, yeah, put the dozer on it. Share that just for visibility. Yep. Side panel. Yeah, that thing on top. Sweet. I think I have some. Feel like maybe in this box right here, even a bundle of bonus stuff at one point. I feel like that's a great set though. Like, I dig it. What crap do I have in here? God, I got so much stuff I gotta start using in here. Bodies. Found all my bodies. All my dead bodies. Bones. Miscellaneous crap. Chaos Purity Seals? What? Oh, I have some Nerdle icons. That's what I got. But yeah, some side panel stuff. I think the real treat on that is that tank that goes up top. It's pretty tight. Yeah, and the file's $5. Pretty sweet. This guy one more time just for shits and giggles. I don't care that much about bubbles. All right, do I have something bony out here already? No, those are skins. Those can go back. Those are deep skin tones. Where are my deep skin tones? I'm a little close to the mic right now, like barking into it. Ochre, rose. I'm guessing those are deep skin tones. Let's just go pale sand. Oh, I bet he does. Yeah, Mingo. That dude. Good to see you, Moth. It's good to keep it formal every once in a while. Drop the proper hello. I was looking at things on sale. I don't think I need sisters, but if it had been other armies, I was like, yeah. All right, so I've got some pale sand. I'm just going to go on to these models in the spots where there's bone, for starters. But I also might just, while I'm in here, hit some spots that are going to like glow later, or like eye lenses or anything like that. I sort of want to have called out even a little bit brighter when the time comes to grind this whole thing up. I'm not going to worry about tentacles right now. Maybe a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of this stuff on there. But those are probably going to get like Magos purple or something like that. Eventually. Right, do you have any bones sticking out of you? That's a tentacle. That's a spike. Question is this the yeah, this is good enough. Good enough. Yeah, it is a revolving door of regulars. Plus a revolving door, I think, of probably 5 or 6 lurkers at any time. Pretty solid showing. Just do a little highlighty stuff on this meat skull. The nose a little bit. Proverbial usual suspects. But the formal hello is nice. I mean, the thing is, you never know what somebody's up to. Sometimes it's like, I'm here, but I'm lurking, or this or that. And you feel bad if you ask them something and they're away, and then they come back and they're like, oh, I didn't answer my friend for a while. Working my way to getting one. Good dive bar. That's true. Dice does work. Good point. I am going to hit the shroomage up here because that'll get a bright color on it a little after the fact. I want some amount of it to stand out. He's like, whatever it is, like Croxagore green or some wild thing up here. Little water on here. All right, so that's lightened up This could be lightened up a little bit more. Brush is super tiny. This brush is probably too tiny for what I'm needing right now. I'm gonna like load it up every second. And maybe a little bit over here. Yeah, let's get fussy. Let's get sweaty on this. Skull. You're out, brush. We're switching to a 1. Too cool. Ah, pile of skulls. You're important to whiten up. Of course you are. That dry a little and then I'll hit it again. Try to sneak in here. Just lighten the lenses up a little bit. It's not perfect white. Doesn't matter. It's lighter. Got it on the palette. I'm not terribly tired yet. So I'm doing it. Bartender becomes a stripper. What happens if you roll a 1? Alright, there are some straps on this gun, so I think a little of this. Lighten them up too. Stripper becomes a truck driver. My dad was a truck driver. He'd be a great bartender. There's some pretty hot truck drivers out there too. I don't know, man. Does the audio actually work on that? Hey! What's up, Sarah Kitty? Thank you. Strangely enough, the audio actually worked on an event. Hasn't for like weeks. I'm good. I'm good. I did some Some base painting on some Poxwalkers. Now I'm adding some whites and weird spots on my Plague Marines. Feels good. Good spot. Very good spot. Getting things like skulls and stuff highlighted up. I think my Poxwalkers are practically speaking done. The exception of just like coloring up the edge of the base and varnishing them. But yeah, these guys are getting there. You have a bunch of bone spikes sticking out. These guys got mad clubfoot. I'll lighten that up a little bit. This weird side hoofage pile of junk coming out of the side of his armor. That'll get something like, that might get Bugman's on it in a little bit. I don't need to like perfectly paint by numbers fill this thing in, but I'm just going to lighten it up a bit. So whatever goes on it looks funky. You got back from the game store. Sweet. You're playing, but did actually, yeah. I got Adelan Jackals to kit bash into Necromunda gangers with bikes. Sweet. Sweet. What an amazing hobby where a sentence like that translates into something very cool to hear. So good. I feel like I finally understand this hobby enough now that I can parse a sentence like that and like make perfect sense of it. My only Necromunda stuff so far was a couple of like weird quad bike-ish sort of things that I used as roller skate feet for my Kit Bash Stompa. My full experience of Necromunda. Oh, there is some more metallics I didn't get on some of these. Of course there is, but the fact that I found it is a different story. A little white on this tentacle, just so that I can maybe just use a wash on it later. A little bit on the top of this guy, just to highlight him a little bit. Every kid is an orc kid. It's very wise words. Oh, you got a skull hanging off you, buddy. You get some white paint. Very thinned out. Super thinned out. Necromunda is like dangerous for me. Like every time I see some Necromunda stuff, I'm like, my good God, I love Mad Max and like all that sort of like very wastelandy aesthetic stuff. I'm like, well, I could get a little Necromunda. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Not yet. Hold. Hold. That bone spike will just thoroughly lighten up. And then I'll just do a wee smidge highlighting on the tentacle. Just get like a third of it. I may go back to this entire lot and whiten up some of the stuff that's in. Yeah, I probably should. There's like cracks in the armor. There's just goo showing through. Not exactly sure what goo is, but also thinking about adding a little brass here and there. There's bronze missing. No surprise, wasn't all that thorough. I think this is one of the guys that I was working on when I like tapped out. I was like, yep, I'm done. More to do. Get This guy's loinclothy business lightened up a little. Not a crazy amount. I want the red to go on something a little lighter and a little less green than what is on here presently. I'm trying to destroy the green on it just a little less. Guy is down for some action. I gotta get his lenses though. Smaller brush. Smaller brush. You're back, small brush. You're back in the game. Sidelined for a minute there because it was time to reload. 12 seconds, but them lenses. Say lenses, but it's actually a mono lens on this model. Say lenses, but you don't mean it, Ohms. Scooch that in there. I think I got that right. I think I did. I think a lot of things. Who knows? Missed the metallics on that. Not that we're doing all right. I think this is one of the models where, like, at the end of an evening, I was like, I quit. I'm done. I casually peek over at the clock. So that said, I should get his tiny little bug eye lenses. A little bit of whiteness. The lenses may just be getting something as simple as ink on them. Having something in the backdrop that's nice and light, even if it's not perfectly white. It's just a good time to do it. It's actually not bad with just white there. Sure, why not? Lighten up this symbol while we're here. Have brush. We'll travel. Are you thin enough? I don't think so. There we go. This is kind of be a little bit like a scar, like a brand. I'm just lightening it up so that whatever I put over this, whatever glop, this just turns out to be a little lighter than spots that aren't raised. I don't think I need the super tiny one anymore. Let's go back to the Uno. Clean it up a little bit. Poor guy. All right, any other spots I desperately want to lighten up? Get this tentacle a little bit. In fact, I'll go with just a little bit of that spot that got some bronze on it. Just highlight the curve of that. Gentle, just being gentle. There we go. All right, buddy. Are you all set? You got any other skulls hanging off of you? You don't? Good man. All right. This guy has got this whole epic horn sticking off of his head. What a champ. He's got mad Tiefers. He's probably going to need a couple passes and slightly thicker paint to boot. These teeth are important. Got a little maggot in there. Yeah, heck yeah. You know what's up, buddy. Get some of this lashing tongue tentacle business lightened up. I'm going to brighten this guy up a bunch with a ton of just like blood red on the inside of the mouth, tips of the teeth. I'm just going to poke some white in there. Screw it. Screw it. Lighten it all up. There we go. Yeah. Sometimes gotta be a little assertive. There's a smiley face over here. A little brush time, maybe. Maybe a double zero. Compromise. Highlight the lips just a bit. He's a little nosy. Eyebrow. His cheek. That way when I grime them, some spots aren't purely monochromatic. Ian. Skull over here. A three-eyed skull over here. Let me get this tongue too so it can pop out red or purple or whatever it is when I get to it. Get it nice and bright. These skulls are actually going to be skulls. Most likely. It could end up being bronze in the back and brass on the skulls, but I think these ones I want to keep white. Big old splash in the forehead. Crook of the nose. Not too shabby. He's got teeth on his face. Lo and behold. All the places to have teeth. Two coats. Teeth over here need two coats as well. Which is cool. Oh, got a snaggletooth over here too. Full of surprises, pal. Full of surprises. All right, skull in the back. Skull grenade. It's kind of a bone spike, I think. Could be a nascent tentacle, but we're calling it a bone spike. Tentacle back here. Lighten him up. Just want this to get a little bit lighter. Maybe not on the inside. Dilemma. All right, that face is good. Back good. That side's good. Just need to squeegee up on this skull a little bit more. Here we go. Set that guy aside. Piece him out. Clean these brushes a little bit. I got two more that I got to do this too. But I want to give these brushes a little bit of soak time. This paint, I've been struggling with the consistency of it. Not in a terrible, terrible struggle way, but it's been like thick or thin and not right. The brushes have, I don't want to say suffered, but like, they ain't happy right now. Is it almost Friday? It is almost Friday. Sweet. I got a buddy of mine coming into town, dude that I've known for eons since I was like 3, which is crazy to think about right now because one of my daughters is 4, the other one is like almost 3. Pretty wild. It'd be good to see him. I think he's seen AC/DC locally. I can't go to the show. Well, I don't want to go to the show because I don't go to big shows anymore. But I think he offered. but it'll be good to catch up with him. Good dude. Great dude. And I think I'm with the kids all Sunday. So my wife's got something she's got to go do. Socializing thing. Missing this guy. Yeah, this gooey strap. I might not need to lighten this up, but I think I'll hit it with something snotty later on. A little weird that he's got a gun strap that's made out of, like, probably boogers. So an action-packed weekend ahead. Well, this is actually tree-like. In fact, that other guy is very tree-like. I may need to... Yeah, I should hit these guys with some brown. It'd be good to have it be light in some parts underneath it. So it's good that I'm doing this now, but you guys are getting dryad barked. Yeah, that's like absolutely... This guy's like a Nurgle druid. Stonehenge. All right, what else? Yep. Oh yeah, I hit that with some metallic too. Let's just coat that over. Fix up my past sins. And once again, like some amount of this like very light green shown through underneath, absolutely fantastic and want it. But I know I'm griming these guys up. Just want to call out anything that's either white or going to be way lighter before that happens. I do anticipate that I'm going to be going back and basically doing exactly what I'm doing now on a slightly smaller area. Once they're grimed up, seems like it's a likelihood, but just to get, especially things like bone, light standout starting point is good. God, this guy, poor guy's got a bone coming out right out of the middle, the top of his foot. That's got to be so annoying. I mean, he doesn't care because he's Death Guard, but still. So after this pass of lights, though, I can go in and I can absolutely put the reds in. Any sort of Magosy purple for tentacle stuff. Looking prime for some grime. Yeah, exactly. We are pretty close to dipping these guys. Like I'm making good pace with these, but these are not poxwalkers. You can get a little bit more love. Just a few more steps to follow. Actually, several more, but I like where they're going. They are absolutely getting thoroughly dipped. Dunked, soaked. Is their destiny. Am I missing anything? Don't think so. And I'm probably just meandering a little bit. Nah, I don't actually dip them. I just thoroughly brush them. I do have a bottle of Viejo Black Dip, but I mainly just use that as bulk wash with a very, very large brush for terrain stuff that I do outside. But at one point, I do have to try like an absolute dunk. There's the Army Painter. A lot of their products come with a thing that it's like a guide slash product catalog, and they sell like very specific speed painty setups that are like here's your speed paints plus your dips, and they're like they got directions like you dunk the thing in and go shake shake. Yeah, it's something that like I probably will give a try, maybe with a different batch of Poxwalkers. Is just do the Army Painter method because like it looks interesting. If you really like deconstruct the method, it's kind of like they're like, hey, prime this thing in white, put some contrast on it, dunk the whole thing, peace out. And for absolute chaff units, I see that being pretty cool. I could see that being for like, hey, I'm running a D&D campaign, and thankfully I don't need 150 zombies because I already got 150 zombies, but now I need 20 garbage soldiers. Yeah, I like the time efficiency on it. I just wonder about like it's neat to like sort of be like, hey, that, be critical of it because I'm obviously like sitting here like doing a bunch of dumb crap over and over again that maybe I don't even need to do. But I always wonder with the like very speed oriented methods if there's a way to do it that like elevates it just a little bit. I hate the word elevate in this. We're not doing cuisine. Like if there is a +1 version of those methods, like I'm not trying to do the like, hey, like videos where people are just like, all right, yeah, and you're done. Like, is there a place between those and meticulously hand doing every little bit? Like the Midwinter Minis guy was like, he did a lot of speed painting stuff, but then he found like he dunked stuff. Um, he definitely found some spots where it's like, hey, you could do this quick, um, but like with decent results. And I proclaim quite proudly that I think one of the best parts of this hobby is that like different people gravitate to different bits of it and different likes of it. There's some I know folks I've had people drop in and their favorite part and all they do is they build models. All they do is build. I personally don't crazy judge people when they bring their models to the table. I like having mine painted. I don't mind if people proxy stuff. Um, I probably sometimes will take my 10 points for having a fully painted Warhammer army if I do, because I think that's cool too. But like different people interact with this hobby in different ways. Like I feel cheap if I'm playing against. I had when I was learning, so it was a slightly different context. It wasn't a competitive game. Like they were like proxying all manner of stuff, but like I do think it's an important part of the hobby to like make your little army men look like army men. So like gray plastic, I feel bad about. That I feel bad about. Like wholesale empty bases just because of the right base size, just like come on. But I do think like there's absolutely good space for people to not go nuts with every single model. And I do think there are ways to make some stuff look like really genuinely good. Not just with less effort, but like I think time savings is important for a lot of people. I think it's a valid, thoroughly valid pursuit. And a lot of times you just find some spot that like some method that you can take a piece of. Yeah, any paint job in a storm, any port in a storm. Gray plastic is like, okay, I get it, but because I know some ways to do some stuff quick, I feel bad about that. It feels like someone's playing a different game. I mean, so much of this game is about, yeah, it's the marketing of it too, because it makes them money. But like, I like to see what other. The whole point of have a channel is to like interact with other people and look at stuff. I love looking at other people's models. Like, I barely post any pictures of my own shit on my own Discord. Like, I used to look at other people's stuff. Hey, what's up, Pro? Yeah, and I do think that um, there is something absolutely like mwah ha ha chaos about wholesale dunking someone and shaking them out. There's something absolutely like, yeah, I mean, I guess like I'm not like pissed or ashamed for the person. I just think that the painting part is, it seems like a missed opportunity, even if your methods are just totally speedy, to like, immersion matters to me. It does. Um, I am not a like super high skilled painter, but the value of the battle to me, some of it is in getting to see someone else's original work. Like, I 100% think that cool terrain matters. And like, I've seen that in action. The first game that I ever played with Will, we had barely any legit terrain. Yeah, creative base games are just like wild. We were using like Bigelow tea boxes. I think we might have had a soda can or two. And I was like, shit, I got to get some terrain. So I was like, all right, we get the Octarius box and like do some cool looking orc terrain. Now, one, the process of painting, building and painting the terrain was awesome. But two, every battle with that stuff um, was just like so much better. Um, it's just more immersive, way cooler. All right, what is my next step? My next step is grabbing some colored paints now. Is it? Is it? Or do I need to finish up? I think I have some other tiny bits of metallics that I just want to get done. I think I do. I'll hold off on them. I'll do some cleanup at the end on those. There's some tiny little places. It's I did it once and it immediately was like, I gotta go do up some terrain. And once again though, like, I don't think terrain has to be like Games Workshop stuff. I very much respect, and I know several people that like live in other countries where it's almost impossible to get Warhammer. And so almost everything they do, and like 3D printers are still like pretty exclusive, and they just build all their own stuff. But like, seeing the care and love um, that goes into what someone brings to the table is just super important. By the way, Bebro, good luck as far as putting in the application for an apartment. Fun stuff. Let's find a tentacle color. Let's do it. Magos purple's pretty good. Berserker Bloodshade's not bad. Crimson's not, but I feel like I need something contrasty. Maybe. Maybe I'll go crazy and do something like Shyish Purple. You just be like pretty light with it. Though when I dip these guys, man, that's probably gonna look like mad dark. Shyish Purple is just brutal. Absolutely savage looking. Let's see how it looks on one guy. I don't know, I'll have to look the same. What are you talking about? You know what I think the issue is? I think my paper. I think it's my paper on my wet palette's weird. Alright. Let's it's very tonguey. That one's gonna be red. Find another subject. This guy only has a few tiny little tentacles. Oh yeah, it looks terrible. Shyish Purple out. Too dark. I barely put any on. Like, Shyish Purple is like, I need to use this as like a supplemental black. Good stuff. It's just, yeesh. Do I have any bizarre Purple Swarm plus something? I don't know. Second week of June? Sweet. Apartment hunting, finding, and moving. Not a fan of. I've done so much of it. I'm just like, you know what, we're gonna mix this with something else. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, that's good purple. I'll thin it out with a little Druchii Violet shade paint, but very similar. Second week of June, depending on where you are geographically, and you don't need to geocache yourself right now on a stream, but that could be a very hot time to move. I still, to this day, think about like time of year of moves. Like, is that smart to do? Do I have a choice? Yeah, we're gonna add some Carabur Crimson into the mix. Once again, I'm just gonna dot it around what I've got in this dish on the outside. Thing is wrecked. And I'm going to do this a little bit like a wash, so I'm going to grab a different brush than one of my good ones. Not one that I use for oil paint. Yeah, this guy's a 1. He's probably good. I've had some pretty, like, gnarly midsummer moves. But, like, I don't know, it depends. Spring, you get totally rained on. Summer, you get brutally hot. 2 cats? Yeah, I am so used to that. Cat rental, man. Cat tax. I got 3 right now. Good area, 2-room apartment. Be a bit hot. We don't have too much and get a few people to help. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, it is exciting. I do love the, like, excitement of the change that comes with it. But, like, I'm old, have a bad back. And I've been, like, forced to move enough times from, like, the part of the country that I live in is, cost of living just keeps going up and up and up. And so you routinely have landlords that are like reselling a building after you've been in it, or they're like, hey, we're going to up the rent by like a factor of 2. You're like, well, I guess I'm out. Thanks a bunch. Gotta get a little bit more juice on this. Like moving for the right reasons is good. Moving out of being forced to really stinks, and that's most of what my experience was. I'm my own dumb landlord. Now I'm on the hook to fix my own stupid crap, and it's way better that way. I don't ascribe to anyone who's like, well, when you own, like if your water heater goes out, you gotta fix it. It's like, yeah, guess what I was doing with my rent before? I was paying into that before anyway, so that's a wash. The fact that I gotta make a phone call, not a big deal. And I don't like making phone calls. Still not a big deal. The reason we're waiting is because I'll have more time off. It's our first time living away from our parents, other than me being in college, 2 bedroom. Yeah. Nah, when you said 2 room, I presume you meant 2 bedroom. Well, that's cool. Congrats. And good luck with the whole moving process. I will say the feeling when, like, much as you always just have like more boxes to unpack, the feeling at the end of a moving day when you finally like are deployed, it's pretty cathartic, like, very satisfying. It's always like a we did it moment. And you're like, well, guess I'm eating some microwave food, or you've still got ordered pizza lying around, some form of takeout. That job well done part of it is pretty good feeling. All right, I'm liking this purple. Lucky it's not that far from where we live now. Yeah, the only long distance moves I've ever done were to and from Florida, to go to school and then to be done with school, and those are a little tough. But I had so little; it was like one carload of stuff. So I knew I was only going to be in Florida for about a year and a half. That thankfully wasn't really like moving. Be closer to works, yeah, a little bigger town, sweet. As someone who has worked remotely for years now and has had some very long commutes in the past, getting your commute time down is just like a pure net gain, and it adds up so fast. You spend so much time in your car, which is mostly wasted. There's a little bit of like decompression after work that goes on in a car, which I think is good and healthy, but it doesn't have to be in a car. But like when I first moved to Rhode Island, where I live now, like I upped my commute was extremely commonly an hour one way, very commonly, and that just eats you up. Like 2 hours in a day spent sitting in a car. I mean, you get like a lot of books on tape and podcasts done, but like that's not really, it's a byproduct. It's not really a goal. Like today, I got up this morning at about 8. I was at my desk by 9. Regained some stuff. Had my first stand up, well, my only stand up. 10. Worked. Streamed work for a little while. Was done. Done by 5. Ate lunch with my family in there somewhere. If I was working my old job, I would have been like up at 8, in the office hopefully by 9:30. Out of the office at like 7 ish. Home by hopefully 8. It's just a different deal. From almost half hour to less than 5 minutes. Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, that's super good. View time, you can maximize it by like learning stuff or listening to books on tape or just being still safe but meditative. But you're still maximizing something that is largely just a flipping waste of time. I think I got all this guy's tentacles. I poured way too much out for my homies. Yeah, I was thinking against it, but the inside of this mouth will be red. The tentacles coming out are going to be purple. I'm liking this purple. It's going to lose a bit after however I choose to grind these guys up happens, but it's nice and bold underneath. Yeah, you got metallicized a bit there, buddy. I misinterpreted you when I was staring at you from a different angle. Not a problem. Sadly, my drive is mostly back roads, a lot of wildlife. Work second shift, so it's dark out. Well, as long as you're used to it, you can make your peace with it. But that's dangerous driving. There's not a lot of meditating you can do on that. I've been there on both accounts, both second shift and back roads commutes, and you got. I'm not saying you don't have to be safe on the highway, but as soon as you're driving through wildlife, it gets a little spicy. Tongues specifically, I can use that. I'll come back with a little Caribird Crimson in a bit. Oh my god, I poured so much out for so little work. Any other tentacle? Yeah, it's a bell tentacle. Good job, buddy. Hit a deer while on the phone with my girlfriend. Scares the crap out of both. Yeah, I can imagine. I am extremely. I am like. I have a very good friend who got pretty permanently hurt. Had like lifetime neck problems out of being on the phone while they were in their car. So I'm like ultra. Like I don't even hands free talk to people on the phone while I'm driving at this point. I'm scared to death of it. Like I am the person who will like take an exit off the highway, pull into a gas station, and then talk on the phone. I don't think anyone else has to do that. I'm just like spooked. Um, but it is pretty scary. I've hit a few different types of animals, and it is the bigger they get, scarier it is. And like hitting a deer is like a real like you can get hurt. You can get hurt hitting a deer. Like not even like a huge buck, like just a regular old like chilling out young doe. They're they're big and springy, and quite often they will do like a last minute YOLO jump to try to get out of the way, which puts them at just the right height to like hit the windshield, not the grill. Scary, man. Like they make all the wrong moves. They either go full deer in the headlights, or they spring somewhere that is just like, oh. But I don't think I've ever hit a deer. I've been directly behind someone else that did. Um, and that was out in the middle of nowhere. And the cop that the cop that showed up, you can tell where the story's going, very much put the deer out of its misery because it didn't die. It was pretty darn sad. And it was like me and this poor lady waiting for the cop to show up. The cop showed up and just discharged his firearm. It was a very rural spot. It's a little not a common occurrence in these parts. But I was thankful that he did because, man, this deer was sad. Yeah, I mean, my wife does, you know, hands free, and I don't begrudge anyone else doing it with the proper precautions. I'm just personally spooked about it. Yeah, deer are just like mad springy. All right, I'm just gonna clean this thing out because I don't need all this glop in here. Get the other side in here. Super purple. Just use my wet palette. I gotta find a crazy blue to use. Maybe Psychic Shock is good. Just on maybe a couple things at most. There's some fungus coming out of this guy's head. Same, the cop put it down. The deer looked at him right before the cop shot. Yeah. Eesh. Roadkill's tough, man. It's just like out of nowhere, and your head's always in some totally different space. Let's spook you. All right, this is the guy. This is the guy. This guy. I don't think this covers it at all. Yeah, maybe I just need to massage it a little bit. Take a couple passes at it. Maybe do it on camera. People who were kind enough to show up and watch this dumb stream. Like off here having a moment to myself. Let that sit for a second. Hit it again. Maybe I'll have to add a little bit of something else to it. A little bit of blue horror. Yeah, swans aren't tiny either. No, big bird. Obviously the age does matter, but like swans are no joke. I think I need some form of layer paint in with this other crap. I'll just mix these dumb things together. I'll mix and paint inappropriately. There we go. That's the way to do it. Yeah, you got it. It's like, yeah, what is this? Oh, it's technical. What's this? This is layer paint. What's this? This isn't oil. Yeah, sure. Just mix them up. Cloud of feathers. Oh man, that's like, what an image. Oh, it hit your windshield dead center. That must have scared the crap out of you. Oh yeah, and you got lucky too. To seal the vehicle up before hitting an explosion. All right, I'm gonna grab Slaughter Red. Do anything that is very red. There's gonna be some amount of tongue, some amount of bloody maw, some amount of that business. I just need whoop, barely a drop of it, I would think. Oh, I take that back. These cloaks are probably going to be epic red. I'll put on a couple of drops. There we go. Now I've overused paint. Now I'm back in the game. I won. Nobody hang with me. Hey, you're still in good shape. Dab of water. Tiny amount of spit on it. All right. This guy can, everybody can sit aside, come back in the pool in a second. Do them one by one. Don't want to get red on anybody sitting in the background. Anyone in the cheap seats get flicked with the brush. Oh yeah, it's like some solid Ronald McDonald red. Going this bright on these because any grime that goes on this is going to totally change the nature of the business on it. So like red contrast paint, fine. Very Ronald McDonald right now. That's all going to change. Not on the weapon. Thing is, I saw the swan speed up walking across the road. Oh my god. So you had the anticipation. Went under the car, got sent up. Yep, in the air over my. Yeah. Oh man. What a what a moment. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I'm a really good driver," blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, but you can't predict all the shit that is going to happen to you and around you while you're driving. Like, I drive pretty darn conservatively at this age, and it's not just because like I'm an old man and I can't see straight. It's more that like I've had enough near misses and not even misses, straight up hits that I'm like, I'm totally content with having plenty of reaction time to whatever might get thrown my way. Absolutely fine with it. If that bores you, that's okay. Like, I don't just drive safely when my kids are in the car. Like, I just drive safe. Very safe. Keep it secret, keep it safe. And I also just don't want to be a part of someone else's, like, very sad story. Oh, yeah. And some of it is absolutely because I also spent much of my younger years as a city boy. A little dab of isopropyl and just there we go, cleaner. Purchased one of the sets you were looking at. Sweet, fantastic news. Which one? If I may be so bold as to ask. I'm gonna get in there. I think it's mostly gonna be grime up in there. I am going to red dot this guy's lens though. I'll probably hit this with some ink later, something to brighten it up. But I did white it out for a purpose. I did a real shitty job of that. I'm still at the age where I'm considering an at-risk driver. Sweet. Sweet. Legitimate threat. Oh yeah, I screwed that up too. Whatever. When I say screwed it up, I didn't screw it up bad, but it was like, buddy, it was deeply imperfect, to say the least. Maybe it's the time Herb, another friend, and myself were in California and drove down a one-way the wrong way, screaming, "We're not local to the people watching us." Exceedingly responsible, exceedingly so. It happens. I mean, there's two roundabouts to get on the highway in my tiny little town that I live in, and like people routinely have no concept of how to use a roundabout, and it saddens me because like roundabouts are like really good for traffic flow. I just need you to follow the rules. Like you just have people just randomly like yield while they're in the roundabout. I'm like, please don't do that. That's like dangerous, dangerous. And then people who just like wholesale just like pull in and they don't have the right of way. Like, oh guys, come on. Everybody was playing the same team for once. So I pay out the butt for insurance, I can imagine. Yeah, and a newer car. Yeah, that'll do it. Oh yeah, I've had the pleasure of I've never personally driven in LA, but I've been driven around in LA. My sister lives out there, and I've spent a decent amount of time in cars out there just from like work stuff, getting Ubers and gosh knows whatever. Um, that's good. I think. Yeah, he's only chain. Um, it's a little spicy out there. Takes a little getting used to. That is just plates. He's good. It's an acquired taste. Sitting through driving in LA. And it's LA is a massive place, so it's not like culturally the driving is the same everywhere. But like LA freeway is just like yeehaw. I don't like it. Like my sister's thoroughly versed in it. Um, but say 99% of the population doesn't know how to use a roundabout. Yeah, and it saddens me. Roundabouts are dope, man, because they're like scientifically proven out to make everybody's traffic go faster if you just do it the right way. All you gotta do is like right away, the people in the roundabout. Everybody else, wait your turn. It's just fine. We're gonna get to you. We're gonna get to you. You'll have your moment, I promise. But I need you to just play by the freaking rules and be slightly less of a rebel just this roundabout. Thank God that thing that I just hit with red right there is supposed to be red. I've been disappointed. I split the brush. Like a chump. But you're getting red anyway, buddy. Roth doesn't drive, so none of this was on me. I even said that's a one way like 20 seconds before they turn it. Yeah, it's people don't listen. It's alright though. We survive. Somewhat. Most of the time. Put many qualifiers on that as I can. It's a big piece. I gotta get this right. This guy's got a very noble stature. Go too crazy. It's gotta remind myself this thing's getting grind. All those little recesses Little creases where things meet up are going to get absolutely turned dark. Just keep it chill, homie. Keep it gangster. It's going to be all right. Except that one little spot I can see. All right. Set that guy aside. Watching 0 people use their blinker while all of us in the car are Minnesotans from farm countries are extremely nice. Turn the blinker on way longer than needed. Yeah. Let people merge into our lane. All that was weakness. It's true. That is very much how it's seen. Did I miss some tentacles on this guy? Well, I guess you're shit out of luck, old man. I think I'm going back. Can't bring me back to that phase. Yeah, there's a lot of inference for better or worse in LA driving. And like it's one of those cases where like I'm not saying it's good by any stretch. But like if you're used to it, you can flow with it, and if you're not, it's like devastatingly no bueno. Man, this stuff is danger paint. Get that. Oh, or spread it out. Come on. Clean up, clean up. There we go. A little bit of isopropyl on the brush. Especially because it's over the metallic, and I don't think this wax actually breaks up isopropyl, which is good. All right, everybody's read it out. My brush water is now a wonderful hue of pink. Yeah. I've done the double diamond highway overpass once, and it was interesting to figure out in the moment. Yeah. The big highway interchanges I've been on enough like mega clover leaves in the Boston area. There's a bunch of like interchanges that just aren't symmetrical because they can't be because it was all horse paths before. None of people in LA have had the luxury of having to pull over to the side of the road when tractors or combines drive down the main road. Yeah, it's like sorry, there's room for one of these things, and it's not you. Roth's plan is to just not drive. It's a good plan. Yeah, I feel bad about that too. That said, like I do feel like infrastructure wise in farm country, it did a lot of farmers bad by not like you should just have a breakdown lane that is like massive enough so they can have enough space to breathe. Those things need to get around. Y'all got the space. Driving is overrated. Way too many accidents, and I can't control other people. That's all of these things. Pretty darn true. There are nice drives out there. Um, there are a few nice drives out there that I actually like. Um, but a lot of them suck. A lot of them just suck. All right, we're gonna do. What am I gonna do about the guy with the big branches? I got a lot of bones to do no matter what. So the Seraphim Sepia is coming out. It's true though. You can only do so much to ensure your own safety. You are. I say this to a lot of people. Like I know a lot of people that are like, "I'm a really good driver." And it's like, yeah, but you're only like a small part of that equation. No, I mean I get it as far as the space goes, but like you sort of also need that space for the vehicles that need to get around to do the farming. But yeah, I mean at that at that scale, that much square footage is that much fewer. God knows whatever you're planting. I'm gonna break up this brush a little bit. This guy's done a lot of combat. His base is just smoked. Look at that. Look at that happy brush. I need that isopropyl to get in there, break things up. I got that cool childhood PTSD from really bad car accidents as a kid. I mean, there's PTSD. There's also like when you have seen how bad things can get, you are actually somewhat making a pragmatic, logical decision to not be a part of it. I mean, corn and soybeans, my friend. Yeah, that's where it's at. All right, sort of broken that guy up a little bit. I definitely see your point. I think the thing is, though, you know, in some cases, I mean, there are a billion places that you can actually put solar, but some of those solar spots are like for the farm to spend less money on power. Depends on the situation. All right, that guy's skull isn't really a skull. It's got skin on it. I might have to hit that. It'll be fine when it gets all gloppy on here. It'll be fine. I think I will be at a point where next time I can dunk these dudes, dip them, so to speak. Should be nice. What are you doing at spikes? You got a skull grenade. I mean, the nice thing is out here, solar is generally like in smart spots. A lot of it by the highway. Yep, covered parking lots. Absolutely. Um, there's been some talk of just like being able to generate solar power off of road surfacing, which like sounds neat. I mean, it's intermittent because there's cars going over it, but it's always there. And most of the time, there actually isn't a car over any given piece of road. Not sure that they've quite technologically solved for it from a cost perspective, but like over parking lots, absolutely. Um, on buildings, not a bad spot. Now that my roofs are fixed, I can once again entertain solar on my garage and barn. But like huge solar array farms, like mega ones, like, yeah, I don't know what goes into the calculus of picking out where a good spot is for those. I'm a little ignorant in that regard. I'm gonna just gently hit this guy's strap. It's not gonna be make it leather with Seraphim Sepia, but when the other stuff goes over it, it'll be a little darker. Little darker. My work has a solar farm that powers a good chunk of our factory. It's not that big. I mean, it makes a huge difference where you put solar, but like in terms of flat land, it doesn't. But like, I looked at the all of the roof facings on this property, and it wasn't like the deciding factor, but like I knew that like my garage and my barn on one side was like picture perfect for solar. And what was it? Would you say up here, Moth? Move to Alabama and get taxed by the state for having solar panels? That's insane. That's nutty. I don't even understand the point of that. Like, don't get mad at solar power as a concept. A little drippy there, a little drippy here. Dab some off the brush, come back with a nice big guy. Just pull a little back up. That's great down here. We're a coal state. Stay a coal state. Yeah, it's true. Like I respect the fact that people need jobs, but like coal has been so. I mean, there's still absolutely human beings that um, work their asses off mining coal, but like it's been mechanized so much, and like the job part of it's been very politicized. I still demand we change Lake Superior to Gulf of Minnesota. That's a hot take, and I like it. There's a certain point at which you might want to outweigh the value of moving your youngest in their formative years over the rebellion of losing friends. Yeah, that sounds terrible. But they call them formative years for a reason. The opportunity to not form there, pretty good. You know what? I'm going to take a little bit of this, put it on my wet palette. I'm going to take a little bit, tiny bit, super tiny bit of Cygor Brown. Just a dab. Yeah, mix it and get a little darker for this tree-ish business. That's better. Once again, like it's still going to get grimed over, but what lurks beneath is important. Probably get a job pretty easy in Virginia. Got a relative support system up there, extended family. Christ, who knows what any of this will look like in 5 years? Ain't that the truth? There is no way to foresee where things are going. You're gonna be like deep in liberal country in 5 years. It's gonna be you and the libs, the other libs, filthy hippie. There we go. That is brown. What can brown do for you? Got the concepts of an idea. I just want healthcare and UBI. What is UBI? Urinary backup infection? Yeah, healthcare, man. That is a ringer. I only know UTI. Universal basic income. Oh, ha 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 ha. That's unfortunately one of those smart things that people don't like. Yeah, I get a solid cleanse. Coffee stain these teeth a little bit. Clean this guy off. Does a moth dream of allergic UBI? Deep. Deep, my friend. I like it. Like a super quote. Got layers, moth. Mad layers. Dab slightly darker stuff around the eyes. Yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking. Get some of the slightly darker stuff now that it's damp. The base of the teeth. Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're getting ugly. Yes, mixing paint live on the model. Get these little eyes, and mouths, and noses. Sweet. Like an onion, baby. I'm the same boat. moth leaves, I leave. It's just the rules. I'm tired. Past 12. I get up a decent hour now. We'll pack this business up. But soon, TM, we could dip these guys. I'm pretty sure my Poxwalkers are just going to need some work around the base. So I think pretty soon we'll be moving forward with more work on these guys. Basically this dude plus Gurg the Foul plus a Sorcerer. I have one other crazy guy lying around somewhere. And the Blightbringer. We'll be working on them soon. They'll be a little bit more traditional, a little less dippy. And then also I've got a Fetid Bloat Drone and a Beast of Nurgle on the wings. So still plenty of Nurgly goodness to come. Gotta go be a Viking. I'm off the work grind for a week. So have fun in Valheim. Moth can dream, Badgerino. Folks, it's a good one. It's a good, like, solid workman stream. Lots of things knocked out. I appreciate everybody hanging out while I paint stuff. Talking about UTIs, UBIs, UBS, UPS, all that good stuff. Oh, damn ads. But anyway, see you next time, folks.